Hi, everybody. Welcome to ICAST Lunch and Learn, where today we'll be talking a bit about how you can get more customers in the door and keep them hooked, and how to partner with your state agency that is in the state that you're in. So I'm Jenifer Wisneiwski. I'm the Director of Marketing and Special Projects for the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, and I'll let you intro yourself.
I'm Mary Beth Long, and I'm the Vice President of Communications with the American Sportfishing Association. So we're excited to have you here and hopefully provide you with some additional resources to get you started and get you on your way. One of the things we wanted to talk about is how retailers are really at the front lines and often the first experience that people have with fishing. You know, folks come in the door, come in looking for some equipment. Maybe they don't have a lot of experience. Maybe they're a little bit vulnerable because they're young or a female or whatever, and so you guys really are the first impression, and it really does make a difference sort of how you present yourself, and I think we've heard a little bit about that this morning, and we want to talk to you a little bit more about that valuable role that you play. One of the things that's really important to do in your store or in your business is to cultivate relationships, and that can be just such an important part of your business strategy. Building a following, having support for what you do in your local community, becoming a local authority, be a trusted resource for people. When they need information, they need you to answer questions. They always know they can come to your store, come to your facility, and always get the information that they need and get the good information that they need. And show them what you know. Tell them about your why. What is it that you do that's a little bit different? What is it that you offer? Where are you located that is going to be interesting to them or supportive in their kind of fun endeavors and getting out on the water? Let me go to the next slide. And be creative. One of the great tools we have is our partner organization, the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation. They have a ton of resources on their website. And they actually, one year at ICAST, did 30 different little signs and ways that retailers could get involved and do some clever things to bring in business, both retailers and even some of the manufacturers and other businesses. I just picked 4 because I think these are really, really important. The idea of creating loyalty programs, I know big companies can do that really easily, but so can a small company. Create a loyalty program, a punch card of some sort or whatever to just keep bringing people back. And another area is to send a reminder about renewing your license. Jenifer's going to talk a little bit about all these amazing things that the states offer, but why not, if you know somebody either came into your store to get a license or had mentioned to you that they have a license and then they're just there to get some equipment, get them on a mailing list and try to remember to remind people to renew their license, maybe every spring or something like that, just to get them excited. Also follow up with the folks who make purchases. What is it that do you like your equipment? Is there something you don't know about it? Do you need a tutorial? Is there something else I can help you with? Is there something you forgot when you were in the store? Just kind of, again, have that conversation. Maybe it's just a quick email from your database list. And the other thing is, and this is going to segue really well into what Jenifer's going to talk about, is rely on partnerships, and that's part of why we're here. We wanted to show you all the resources that are available at the state level, through associations, at the federal level, so that you know that there's lots of people that can help you in your business and help support you through data and information and promotions and all sorts of things. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jenifer to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I don't know if all of you are aware that your state agency has communications and marketing and outreach staff that works for them. And, we have the data of everybody in the state that has a fishing license. And, we share customers. Our license holders are your customers. We also share R3 goals. Does anybody know what R3 means? All right, a couple of hands. So recruitment, retention, and reactivation of anglers and keeping them in the sport, right? And we, state agencies, can help get more traffic into your stores, and we can promote your products through things that we do. And I'm going to give you some great examples. We can also use coupons or incentives and create more ways to partner with retailers or manufacturers so that, we can it's a win-win situation when we do those things. And if you don't know who to call in your state, let me know, and I will put you in touch with the right person in your state. So I wanted to show you our data dashboards. We know exactly what's being sold, exactly when, all the time. So this is for our license year that started middle of February. We know where our sales are up to date at this moment. So we're 8% behind where we were last year. But if you compare that to 2019, pre-pandemic, we're up. So it's a positive thing, even though we're down a little. But you can see we know a lot of things about what we sell. And I can tell you, how many of each license we're selling. Oh, it just switched back to me. Hang on. The internet here isn't great. Okay, so yeah, we can tell you of how much of each license we're selling. And
Jenifer, a quick question. Someone
Yes.
wanted to know if this is public-facing information.
No, it's not. It is not public facing, but is any state agency, it's an open records request away or a phone call away. And then I'll show you a couple of other dashboards. So, and this is for the state of Tennessee. I'm gonna have to log in again. Here's a map of our sales. So we can also know exactly where licenses are being sold. And this is broken down by zip code. Let's go from March till now. So the darker the spot is, the more concentration of license holders there are. And so you can see mainly our license holders are in Tennessee, but any of these surrounding zip codes, we can tell you how many items we sold there and how much that was. But this I could see how this could be valuable to a retailer to see where you might want to invest more in advertising, or we might want to invest more in having events at certain places. So yeah, it's cool data that every state agency has at its fingertips that could help you out. And all you got to do is create that relationship so that you can create the two-way streets for the data to flow back and forth. So we have the data, and we share customers. So I was going to use the Columbia store event that we did several years ago. There was a new store opening for Columbia, and they wanted to do a week-long event where they gave back to us through the foundation. So with a percentage of the sales that happened that week, they gave to our foundation, and we drew a 70-mile radius around that store and emailed all the people in that area. It ended up being 70,000, 80,000 people, and said, hey, go check out the Columbia store and give back when you buy your stuff there. And it was a win-win. So, we got a donation to our foundation. We drove a bunch of customers into their store. So, there's one example of many ways that we can kind of partner and help. So R3 is a focus for every state fish and wildlife agency, because most of the states out there, Tennessee being one of them, we rely 100% on license dollars. So if people don't buy licenses to hunt or fish, I don't have a job anymore. Like, our agency ceases to exist. We're not funded by taxes. People often get that misconstrued. So other than excise taxes on that a lot of the people that are in this building pay, we are funded by license dollars. And I don't know if you guys think about widgets to sell, but I think about if every company has a widget to sell. A state fish and wildlife agency, our widget is a license. So as many licenses as we can sell, that's how we define success. So we can drive traffic into your store. This is a good example of an event that the Alabama Department of Conservation did at an academy. And we do these, so many states have these fishing trailers. You can see one right out here. They're awesome. These are great eye-catching things that you can really bring people in with. And so many states have these. Georgia's getting 12. So there's lots of these trailers out there, and state agencies can come and drop and do a Fishing 101 event, or whatever that needs to be to drive people into your stores. And then we can sign people up for events that we do later so that they can really learn how to fish out on a body of water. We can also promote your products. This is an example from Kentucky. They are doing a mentored fishing program where if you are a fisherman and you take somebody new out, you're entered in to win a Jackson kayak and some Abu Garcia spinning rods, and all branded stuff, all promoting a brand, and creating that R3 mentor learn to fish experience. And that's going to hundreds of thousands of people. Like when they send that out, that's going to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. Coupons. We can send out coupons and drive people into your store. The first one here is an example we partnered with Onyx Hunt, and sent that out to everybody that purchased a hunting license that year and said, hey, thank you for buying a license. Here's 20% off of Onyx Hunt. And that drove a lot of Onyx subscriptions, and it was a way for us to say thank you for buying a license. Then the next one there, the Tennessee Wildlife and Academy coupon, we did an effort with Academy where we gave people a 2-week time period to renew their license. And if you renew your license in this 2-week time period, then you get an Academy coupon for 20% off your entire purchase, and that can be online or in store. And so we sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of licenses and drove thousands of people to Academy's website and store through that coupon. Same thing, we did a partnership. This one was a little different. We partnered with Alabama and Tennessee, so anybody that had fished in Alabama or Tennessee and hadn't purchased a license yet that year got an email saying, hey, renew your license in Alabama or in Tennessee, and you get a Onyx discount. And so that was a really successful one too. So, I mean, you can see there's some ways that we can really work together if you want us to send out coupons or incentives to your store. And then we sell stuff. Several states have online stores. So if you go to shop.gooutdoorstennessee.com, you'll come to our store where we sell hats, we sell soft plastic baits, we sell stickers, cups, keychains, whatever. So if there was a way you wanted to feature your product with us, then I think that there's a way. And again, let me help you connect with your state agency. The Association for Conservation Information is the group that has all of the communicators and marketers from state agencies in it. So there is a network of us. So it's really easy to get hooked up with us. So again, I have cards if you have questions or want to know who's in your state that I can connect you with. All right.
Awesome. That's very helpful. There's lots of good information there, and lots of states have very similar situations as Tennessee, and so there's lots of good information out there for you and a lot of support. Taking it a little bit of a different direction in terms of support and other things and other resources that are available at ASA, one of our biggest goals is building the sport fishing community, and that's not just membership in our organization. That's really building the big macro community around sport fishing. And so, obviously a really important piece of that is retailers and others who partner and are part of that whole story and all of that experience that gets people out on the water. So you are all a big part of our circle. Just the fact that you're sitting here right now is important, and it means that you are part of that sport fishing community. And we have, through ASA, we have a lot of connections and a lot of other organizations that we partner with that help kind of leverage even more information and more resources for you. So really encourage you to get engaged in helping us build the sport fishing community. So just really briefly, the ASA mission really is to look out for the interests of the sport fishing industry and the entire recreational fishing community. So that's a big charter. But just so you know, just to have a little background on kind of what you're engaging with, we focus on clean water, abundant fisheries, and access to both, of course. We support trade and commerce, that's why we're here today, and really increasing participation. So focused also on R3 very much. One area that we can also provide information, Jenifer mentioned the states do a lot of work in terms of collecting licensing information. We have a lot of access to market research. We cooperate with a group called Southwick and Associates. They do a lot of research for ASA. They actually do a lot of research for some of the states, and they do some research for RBFF. But we have a lot of reports on our website. A lot of it's available to everyone, and some of it's available to our members. And it's really good information. Some of it's focused just on retailers. There's other things just in terms of marketing trends and special reports on fishing that help you kind of just get a good feel for the landscape. And so love for you to take a look at that. ASA, on a side note, is embarking on a big strategic planning sort of overhaul of our association. And so one of the things we're going to be doing is reinventing and reimagining our website and some of our resources. So I think in the next year, you'll see a lot more of that information really served up so much so that you can just kind of take it and peruse it and not have to really go searching for it too hard. We talked a little bit about participation in events. Obviously, there's lots of ways to get involved locally with your state, but just remember that you've got partners there, not just even in the state. You've got partners like us that know a lot of people and can get you engaged. We could hook you up with regional events, where we're trying to raise awareness, maybe for an advocacy issue or a legislative issue. Maybe it's just again an R3 event where we want to bring together several retailers in a particular city and kind of do something together to raise awareness. We're right there to help support you. As I mentioned, RBFF has an amazing program with the mobile first catch centers, these trailers. They really want to coordinate, and it's our hope that when they're out, the states are out doing these events, that they're partnering with their retailers and local manufacturers to really get that information out. And I think Dina and Angie really talked a lot about that before this, and all these creative ways that you can kind of lean on them as well. And so then our charter this past spring, we pulled together very quickly an effort to get people back out on the water and get folks taking a friend fishing. We wanted to do something sort of on the national level, and so we created this campaign, Fishing Share the Fun. It was really aimed at our members, a little different than just a sort of consumer facing. We wanted to give tools to our manufacturing members and our retailer members so that they could use it to get to their customers and get them out back on the water, make them see how easy it is. There's a tremendous amount of resources out there that people don't know exist. So we packaged all of those resources up into like a 6-week campaign with an email and a charge every week for a different sort of focus area, and get people to share information and see some of the tools that are available, and then take that information and use it however they wished. So the other piece of that is this just gives you some ideas of some of the assets. All of this information, by the way, is still on the ASA website because we'd like to continue people focusing on this all through the summer, since that's obviously the biggest season, for fishing. But there are tons of videos and media assets and social media assets, and we have an online store. So there's lots of clever ways that you can just take free information, print it out, have it at, at the checkout. You can. We have tickets that we created, sort of graphically depicted sort of tickets where you can invite a friend to go out fishing. You could kind of create a program with some of those resources and have some fun, or have a giveaway or whatever. So lots of cool stuff out there. And we, like I said, we want to share it with you and make sure that you, have a chance to take advantage of it and know it's there. And speaking of stuff, Jenifer and I wanted to kind of engage you guys and get you to, because this next part, after we finish up, we're going to be engaging you in some Q&A. Make sure you have a chance to ask some questions. So for the first 2 folks who are willing to get up and ask questions, we have a little giveaway over here, a whole bag of treats. As you can see, a lot of it's themed with Fishing Share the Fun, but there's some other goodies in there. So those are just, like I said, those are ways to get people excited. Like I said, raffles like that too are also really cool ways to get people engaged. And so I'm going to model that for you today. All right, so where do we go from here? You want to talk a little bit about this, and I'll chime in?
There's, many different ways that you can stay engaged with everything that RBFF has and ASA has, and get plugged in and stay plugged in. And these are some of those ways, and our personal contact information too, if you need that for anything. I'm always available to help. I love helping people get involved with state agency work. Some of the state agency work that goes on is some of the coolest work that you will find that supports the resource that we all depend on for our livelihoods. So I think it's very important that you be a champion for your agency and build a relationship with some people in your agency. 100%.
And I think, I can tell you, I'm actually kind of new to the industry. I've worked in the maritime industry for almost all of my career, but this year took the job at American Sportfishing Association in October. So my learning curve has been huge in the last year. And I can't believe the resources that are available through different conferences, like I said, online, social media, webinars, all sorts of stuff. So really, when Jenifer says take advantage of it, they really mean that. There is a lot of cool stuff. So don't hesitate to make a quick phone call. Don't hesitate to reach out to either one of us. I'm happy to give you business cards. I'm happy to introduce you to some other folks that are here. Like I said, got takemefishing.org, which is an RBFF program right next door over here. Happy to talk with you. They have a QR code where you can learn more about getting connected with their first catch centers. So there's just oodles and oodles of information, and I'm still learning. As I still have a few months to go before I make my 1-year anniversary, and I think there's a lot to learn. So with that, I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask questions.
And win a goodie bag, a pretty cool one.
Yes, a lot of care was put into that. So I'll walk around with... All right. Sorry, that was a little loud. Angie.
If you are, I know you were saying that you can help connect people to the right person at a state agency, but just in general, in 2 months from now, we go home and say, I think I'll call somebody at Game and Fish. Who should you call? The communications department, or what department would you reach out to?
Yep, I would start with the communications person at some level. A lot of agencies have an information and education branch, so that might be the best place to start.
All right, our first winner.
What kind of eco-friendly campaigns have you seen within the different states? Have you seen that being more and more of a focus lately?
Absolutely.
And can you maybe give a few examples?
Sure. So we do anti-litter campaigns where we'll send out biodegradable bags to people that are on public lands in any way, and they can put litter in them, and then the bag's biodegradable if it happens to end up as litter. So we do those types of things. Lots of litter cleanups. We do everything that we put in our store, we try to make sure it's sustainable at some level. So yeah, there's definitely eco-minded things going on.
I would say, too, we're doing a big tournament to support Keep America Fishing. ASA is sponsoring that. It's going to be the entire month of September. It's an online tournament. And so we're going to partner, actually, with a group that's very focused on the trash pickup piece. So while people will be also posting pictures of their fish in the different species categories, there's also going to be a prize for the most trash that's picked up during the month of September. So just trying to incorporate clever ways of getting people engaged. And, of course, who doesn't love to post great pictures on social media or post them to sites and things like that? So that's another cool thing that's happening, and I would encourage you to learn more about that. There's we have a cool booth over kind of almost fully diagonal from here. That's a Keep America Fishing booth. We're going to have some activities. We have a happy hour from 4 to 6, and a dunk tank. So that's a way too that you can, learn more and we can help support you. All right, I've got another bag here. There's got to be another question in the audience. Nothing? Oh, I see one.
Hey there. I own a bait and tackle shop, small, not too many employees. People come in all the time asking for licenses. I don't currently sell licenses because it just consumes so much of our time, right? I got 6 reels to spool, a line at the front door. We got to run and grab some bait, and then there's not a reward. It's not worth my time to do that. Is
Right.
there a way you recommend setting up a kiosk or a system that you have in mind that would help speed up that process?
There's actually a group in here called Brand Information Services that has done some kiosk work for state agencies. And yes, that's the thing. But the easiest thing for them to do is just to pick up their phone and buy a license. That's at the end of the day. We've got an app that makes it easy. We've got most states have an app. What state are you in?
Florida.
Florida. They've got an app. It's pretty easy. I mean,
To you and I, that is. But there's a lot of customers that just don't know what the internet is. It's
understood.
crazy. But they're happy going in and saying, "Hey, this is my name. I need a fishing license," and they want that piece of paper.
yeah.
It's a different world. But I was just seeing if you had any recommendations.
It's a true thing. I mean, if you're not willing to be the licensed agent, which I totally get, because there's not a lot in it for you and it takes a lot of your time, but I don't know how to make it much easier.
I was going to say one
Yeah.
solution I've seen. I know you said some of these customers don't want to do anything online, but I have seen retailers put a QR code on their counter, and then they can just show the customer how, look, I'm going to do this. You don't have to link. You don't have to click through anything. It goes right to the registration page. So that might be one way to kind of help them.
Yeah, I think now that with COVID, the QR code has sort of made a comeback, right?
Yes.
So you can't go to dinner without
Right.
using a QR code. So people are a little more familiar, not everybody, but an easy thing to do really is just to print out a full sheet, or a little information sheet with the QR code and laminate it and stick it right there by the checkout. And that could be one way to at least get them moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Thank you all for coming and listening to us today.
Yeah, it was great to have you. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for being here.